Okay, hi everybody, welcome back. So what we've done so far is we've established our domain name and we've secured that, and then we found a hosting platform, and you can use SiteGround, you can use HostGator, there's Bluehost, and there's several other ones out there, but those are the top three that I use, and I've had really good experience with that. And so we've set that up, our domain name, our host, our hosting platform, and then we've installed a fresh copy of WordPress. So the next step is we're going to go log into WordPress and go from there. We're going to configure, do some configuration settings, and then we'll eventually at the end we'll get into Elementor a little bit, the visual builder on how to design websites. And I'll just go over the structure real quickly so you kind of have a good understanding of how to use the Elementor visual website builder. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and go into WordPress, and here we are. This is the environment. So the first thing we want to do is go to dashboard, and you're going to see updates. So we're going to click on updates, and we want to make sure that we have the latest and greatest of WordPress. So it's 5.6.2. This was last checked the 26th, which is today at, this is 10:03 p.m. and if we want, we can check again. And it looks like we're good. There's no updates that need to be done, so we can go to the next step. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do now is we're going to go to settings and do some backend configurations. So go to settings, we're going to go to general, and this is where we can change our site title and our tagline. And so let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to put my name as the title, and then I can put online, we'll just make something up, digital consulting. Okay, and then it looks like our HTTP is been enforced here. It looks pretty good, and you can see the little lock up here as well, up by the web address. So that means SSL kicked in. Sometimes it doesn't, and you have to manually force it, and there's a plugin for that. So if you want to take a note, so if you don't see this little lock and you don't have secure socket layers HTTPS, what you can do is download a plugin called Really Simple SSL. So, and I'll show you that to make sure that you know where to get that, where to find that. All right, so the next one we want to do is make sure that if anything goes wrong or you need updates from WordPress, they'll go ahead and send it to this email address. So make sure you have the appropriate email that you want to get updated. And then we'll go ahead and save changes. All right, so we'll go ahead and let that happen. And I'm just going to get rid of this screen real quick. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is go down to permalinks. By default, WordPress is set up for a blog, so it's typically set up for day and name. So they'll have your website name, they'll have your year, and then they'll have the month and day, and then sample posts. Well, that's not very Google friendly. It's not search engine optimized, so Google won't like that. So what we want to do is click on post name, and that's just much cleaner. So it'll say albertgusman.com/ if it's the home page, so it'll say home or blog or about me or contact us. So it'll be very friendly, and we'll go ahead and save changes there. The next step we're going to do is we're going to clean up any plugins that came with WordPress by default. So depending when you install it, you could have different ones. These are the defaults. So WordPress has made a deal with these guys or something. They're automatically installing it with the WordPress installation. So if you're not sure about them, you could leave them, unactivated. It might be something you research you might be able to use later on, but in my case I'm not going to use these, so I'm going to go ahead and delete these plugins and clean this up. I'm not going to use Jetpack by WordPress, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And some of these are subscriptions and paid services, so if you activate them, just be careful with that. When you go and install, it might ask you for authentication of your credit card. So okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Mojo Marketplace, and I'm going to get rid of opt-in monster because I probably want to use another pop-up subscription plugin. I'm going to leave that. I'm not sure really what that is, but it's SiteKit by Google, so I might look at that later. So I just won't activate it. I'll leave it deactivated. And then I have Word Forms Lite, which I'm going to go ahead and activate that. And this is just a simple WordPress form creator that you can use to get started. There's sophisticated ones out there that'll tie into email marketing platforms like MailChimp and Sendinblue, and there's a whole host of them that you can use for bulk email and email marketing campaigns, like an all-in-one. So we're going to go ahead and leave that. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to install our Astra theme. So by default, WordPress does come with a couple of themes. So you can see here, if I go to themes, you see the defaults here, 2020, and the one I'm going to install is Astra. So if I go click on add new, and this is how I would search for this particular theme. Astra is like one of the most popular themes out there, and it just gives you a great way to kick off and get started building your website. So this is the one definitely I would recommend. So we go ahead and install that, and then we activate it. And then the next step we're going to do is go to our plugins, and we're going to install a starter template pack that enhances Astra. So and it works with Astra very nicely. So we're going to go to plugins, add new, and then we're going to go ahead and upload a plugin. Oh, I'm sorry. We're going to go ahead and search for a plugin, and that plugin is going to be starter templates. And there it is. Starter templates for Elementor, our builder that we're going to be using today. It also works with Beaver Builder, Gutenberg, Brizy, etc. So we're going to go ahead and install that. And we're going to go ahead and activate it. So that's how you would install a plugin. The next plugin we're going to install is Elementor itself, the visual builder. So far what we've done is we've installed the Astra theme. So if we go to Appearance Themes, a little recap. So we have Astra theme, and these were the built-in ones that came with it with WordPress. And then if we go to plugins, you can see the plugin we just installed, Starter Templates. And let's go ahead and add another plugin, which is Elementor, which is our visual builder. We're going to need this to actually build our website. Elementor. And there it is, Elementor Website Builder. You'll get familiar with this particular, their logo, their branding. We'll go ahead and install, and we'll go ahead and activate that. And then we're going to install a couple more plugins. So let's go ahead and add new again up top, and let's go ahead and search for Elementor headers and footers. And there's the one that we want, Elementor header, footer, and block template. So this will allow us to create and customize headers and footers, and it also has additional block templates for free that can enhance your website. So there's like subscription newsletter layouts and forms. There's different blocks that you can incorporate into your website that are already built for you. So think of them as just like little built modules that you can add right to your website without you having to build or create it. They're already created for you. So let's go ahead and install that. And let's go ahead and activate. Okay, so we have the starter template, we have Elementor, the visual builder, the header, footer, and blocks. We have our WP, our WordPress forms, and these are all activated, ready to go. And you can tell because it says deactivate. So obviously that's the opposite of activate. So these, if I wanted to deactivate them, I can. And this is how I can tell that they are activated. Okay, so we have a few more that we want to install that we're going to be using later that'll help us with our website. The next one is Yoast, which is an SEO plugin. This will help you with your SEO. So let's go ahead and add new, and let's search for Yoast. And let's go ahead and install that. And this will help you optimize your websites, writing better content for your blogs. It'll just give you a lot of insight to how you could improve to get your website ranked on Google. And then we're going to go ahead, along with another Google plugin, we're going to go add new, and we're going to go to Monster Insights. It's Google Analytics Monster Insights, but I think I could just type in Monster Insights. And there it is, Google Analytics Dashboard plugin for WordPress. Okay, so let's go ahead and install that. We're almost done with these. I think this is the last one for now. And you could always add more, and you could always remove these plugins if you don't like them. A lot of times I'll experiment and I'll find different plugins, or I'll read about them or see a demo of them, and then I'll actually try to use it, and then it's, it just doesn't work out, or it did something to my site, and so I could just remove that and pick another one. There's plenty of plugins out there. There's thousands and thousands of them. Okay, so here's Monster Insights. We're not going to launch the wizard now because we want to get through this. For some reason, as I mentioned, if you didn't have the security lock, this lock pad, and you did initialize your SSL on your hosting platform like HostGator or Bluehost, sometimes you won't see that. The way you can force it, though, is if I go to plugins, add new again, and if I download this really simple SSL plugin, and it's this little lock here. And so when I install that, it'll give me an option to say, hey, force SSL, and that usually does the trick. So sometimes the hosting platform, it won't implement the SSL for your website, and you have to download this little plugin and just force it, and it's pretty easy and it's self-explanatory. So if you don't have that little lock, I'd recommend downloading this plugin. It's safe, and then just go ahead and update, install, and then it'll force the SSL. So there you go. So the next thing we're going to do now is we are going to create some pages and then set up our menu. So that's the next step. So if we go to pages up here in your dashboard, and we're going to go add new. And so let's create a couple of pages just so we could build a menu structure real quick, and that we could point our blog to our blog page so it posts to our blog page, and then our static page will go to our home page. So let's type in home for our home page. So we're just going to go up to the upper right here and publish, and go ahead and publish. Okay, so that's published. Home is now live, and I'm going to go click on this little W up in the upper left corner because I want to go back to my dashboard and add another page. And these sample pages, we can just get rid of that, so I'm going to go ahead and trash that. And then later on down the line, we can create our own privacy policy page, so we're just going to go ahead and trash that. And then let's go back up to add new, and let's just do a couple more pages. So this next one is going to be my blog, called blog, so that'll show up in the menu as blog. And then I'm going to do services, contact, and about. So let's go back to WordPress, add new, the dashboard, excuse me. And then we're going to go ahead and do services, publish. Okay. And then we're going to do, and you can make it whatever pages you want. And then I'm going to do a contact us. Okay, and publish. And you could have gallery, or you can have other pages, podcasts, whatever you need, whatever you want. And then go ahead, and I'll just leave it that for now. And so we could keep moving along. We need to do one more configuration now. We need to go to Appearance, and we need to go to Customize, and we're going to set our home page settings. And now we can do that because we just created some pages in WordPress. So I'm going to go all the way down to home page settings. Okay, here we go. And then I'm going to click Static Page, and see my home page. Because right now my home page, it's by default, it's going right to my blog page. So that's that Hello World, and that's the first post in my blog. So by default, it's going there. So if you were to go to my website right now, you would see this. I don't want it to go there. I want it to go to a home page, and so we can start building that out. And so it's a landing page, and you can have introduction, call to action, etc. So I don't want it to go right to my blog. So here we go. We can select what page we want it to go to. When you go to albertgusman.com, by default it'll go to home, but in essence I could have it virtually go to any one of these pages that I created, but I want it to go to home. And then I want all my posts, I want them to go to blog. Obviously that makes sense. But if I had another name for a blog and I wanted my posts to go there, when I create posts for my blogs, it would go there. So I'm going to go ahead and click blog, and then we're going to publish, and then we're going to go back. And so the way I got there, remember, is I went to Appearance and I went to Customize. Okay, I believe you can set the static page too. If you go to Settings and Reading, you can set the static home page, and you can set the post block. See right here. So we just changed those. That's where it was in my customized homepage settings. You can also get it under Settings, Reading, and do it here as well. Okay, so now what we're going to do, the next step, is we are going to go ahead and create some menus. So we created those pages. Now we need to create a menu. So where do we do that? We go to Appearance, and you'll see Menus. And here's also where you find that plugin Header, Footer, and Blocks. You would think it's here on the dashboard, but it's not. It installed as a submenu under Appearance, and same with Starter Templates as well. So if we go to Menus, we can start creating and customizing our menus. First thing we need to do, because this is where pages are, but they're grayed out and inactive because we need to first create a menu. So you could do primary menu, you could just do menu or main menu, whatever you like, and let's go ahead and create that. And there's one trick here that I want to make sure that you guys understand, and I'll show you what happens. This has happened a couple of times to me when I first started doing web pages. I'm like, what is going on? It's not working. And I'm talking about my menus, that they were not arranged in the right way. So for instance, I want the home page, I want the blog, I don't want Hello World, I want Contact Us, and I want Services. So I want to add those pages to my menu. So when you go to my home page, you'll see that. And then I can go ahead and move these around. I can also drag and make this a submenu. So off of home, it'll be a little submenu, and I could have everything off of home if I wanted. So I would just have one menu item and then submenu when I hover over home. So let's do it this way. We'll have blog, that guy's being stubborn. Okay, that's much easier to work with. All right, so here's what I was talking about. So this is the way it should show up in my menu, in my home page. It should say home, blog, contact us, and services. But it could be rearranged kind of funky a little bit if I don't click on this primary menu. So watch this. I'm not going to select primary menu. I'm going to hit save menu, and I'm going to open up the web page in another tab. So albertgusman.com. And you'll see blog, contact us, home, and services. See, that's not the order. See, it's home, blog, contact us, services. So I remember working with this, rearranging it around, and going, how come it's not how come it's not in the right order? So what the trick is you have to do primary menu down here, this little button. So primary menu, save menu, and watch, we're going to go back. So it should be home, blog, contact us, and services. Okay, we're going to refresh, and it should say home, contact us, blog, and services. So let's go refresh. And there it is, home, blog, contact us, and services. That drove me crazy for a while. Just click on not remembering to select that primary menu. So anyways, okay, so now our menus are created, and that's it. So the next lesson, what we're going to get into is we're going to learn how to work with Elementor and really understand the basics of building a website. It's one of the most popular visual web designer builders with over 2 million active installs. So a lot of people use it. It's coveted. I mean, it's just a really good tool to work with and building websites very quickly once you understand its drag and drop features, the layout, building structures, and what I'm talking about is sections, columns, rows, widgets, intersections, and there's much, much more. So we're going to get into that in the next lesson, and you can actually start building the websites and feeling comfortable on learning how to use Elementor Visual Web Design Builder. Okay, so thank you. Okay, so let's get back into it and pick up where we left off. We're going to be looking at Elementor the Builder and using that and understanding its layouts, its structures, from rows to sections to intersections to widgets, and really how to work around and navigate through the Elementor Builder. So first thing, we got to edit a page. So let's go to Pages, and we created a few pages in the last lesson. And let's go to home page. What you're going to notice here is all these pages that have edit. In the future, once we edit them with the Elementor editor, you will see an option for edit with Elementor. Just pointing that out. So right now, it just recognizes WordPress as the editor. So we're going to have to hit edit twice. Watch what I'm saying. So if we go to home and we go edit, and then up above here, you're going to see Edit with Elementor. And so we're going to click on that. And now it's going to bring up the Elementor Builder. So you have this whole new environment here. And this is starting from scratch. Now, if you wanted, you could select one of the templates and import that in. Remember that plugin. So let's go back real quick. And let's click on the W to go back. And remember those starter plugins here? That has starter template. So if you wanted to just select the starter template, you could do so and just get a page right up and running without having to build anything manually. And so you would just edit that template. So if I go to themes or appearance, hover over that in the dashboard, you're going to see starter templates. So we're going to take a look at that real quick so you know where it's at. So appearance and starter templates. And then I could select my page builder, which is Elementor. We're not using Beaver Builder or Gutenberg at this time. We're using Elementor. So let's go ahead and click on that. And now you're going to see this whole new world of templates. So we're looking at let's look at the free ones. So let's filter that out because we're trying to do everything free right now. And you can see all the different templates that are created. So if we select one of these, it'll import itself into our website and we can start working from there. But I want to show you how to work with Elementor manually, and it'll be much easier when you do import one of these templates. You'll be able to navigate your way around much, much easier. But look at these brilliant, beautiful templates. And there's more as well. This is just one plugin that gives you these. There's many websites, and I'll try to reference that at the end, of different places you can go and get additional themes that people are creating for Astra, and that could be edited by Elementor. So, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. So it's pretty cool. So let's go back to our home page to edit it, and see, now you see Elementor because we edited it, we brought it up in the editor, so now it's associated with Elementor. So if I wanted to edit it with WordPress, I would go here, and if I want to edit it with Elementor, I click there. So now let's take a look at how to work with Elementor and get used to the environment and the layout. So on the left here, we have elements. We can search for different widgets. Okay, so these are basic. These are built-in widgets in the Elementor. And then Elementor does have a paid version. It's called the Pro version. I think the annual fee right now is $49. And then they do have a lifetime as well, and that's several $100s, a one-time lifetime fee. So these are the Pro widgets that give you a few more widgets, obviously, and then here's the general widgets that you have available to you. So when you get some time, you could peruse through these and play around with them. Just open up a blank canvas like this one and just start dragging and seeing what it's all about. And that's how you just learn where you can use these widgets. Okay, and then we also have header, footers, and blocks. Now that's the plugin that we originally installed. So remember that plugin way back when, it seems long ago that we installed that, the Elementor header and footers and blocks plugin. So this is the few widgets that they provided us. All right. So what we want to do is let's just start looking at our home page. And before I get into this, so you see at the top, there's already a footer that's been created for you. Now, keep in mind, that was not created, and I don't want to confuse you, but that was not created with the Elementor footer or header and footer block plugin. This was created with Astra. So I need to really differentiate that so you don't get confused. So even before we start getting into modifying the layout here, I want to show you where this was built because that can get confusing. So Astra theme now has its own header and footer builder. So let's get out of here, click on the hamburger menu, the three lines, and let's exit to dashboard. And this is where it kind of gets confusing for people because you're going back to the WordPress editor, you're jumping from the Elementor editor, and then Astra theme has some editing capabilities and customizations built in as well. So those are three different places sometimes you find yourself looking for certain actions to complete. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Now when I go to appearance, remember I have the Astra theme installed. So now I'm going to go to customize. And this is going to bring up some Astra functionality. See, the active theme is Astra. Okay. And that's the one I have installed. And see, here's the header builder. Now, when I click on header builder, you'll see what happens. This is their little builder. Now, you could do much more with the Elementor header and footer blocks. You could do a lot more customization. But here, very generically, look, if I want to get rid of this logo and I just want it blank, let's say, I can do that. If I want to add it back, I'm going to click on the plus sign and it gives me these little widgets and I could bring up my logo, which is just my name for now. I could put an image in there as well. Now, how would I do that if I'm using this environment to edit my header? I could go ahead and select logo, and then I could upload some media, an image, something that I designed or I had created on Fiverr or something. If you know Photoshop, you can create logos and graphics all day long. And then this allows me to control my width. So I have some, basic control over this logo images. Display site and title, I can get to that as well. And then if I want a little site icon. The site icon is these little, like, see I have Canva open? It's the little C right here. HostGator, that's its site icon. The alligator. WordPress is the W. So if I wanted to change that to my own logo, that's where I would do it. I would select icon here. And they recommend 512 by 512 pixels. So if you're using a creator like Canva, see I have Canva here, you can create that. See logo here, 500 by 500. And you could always change it to 512 by 512 if that's what they say. But 500 by 500 would work as well. And if you want to create your own design, you'd come over here. And then you could pick different formats that they have, or your custom size. You could do 512 by 512 and it'll create exactly 512 by 512 canvas. Okay, so I know I'm getting off on a tangent, I apologize. So let's go back here, but Canva is a great tool, so when you start, you'll use that as a supplement to building websites. All right, here's my primary menu. If I don't want to show that, I don't need to. I can get rid of that, but easily I can get it back by clicking that and going to primary menu. And so you'll see in the upper right, it's back. Now if I wanted to move that over to the middle, because I have 3 rows here, you'll see that it's moved right here in the middle. And then I can go ahead and add another widget, some HTML, some code. Let's say I want to add a button, like a call to action. I could do that as well. So I could have a little button saying book me or schedule me or make an appointment just by doing that. Okay, but we're going to just bring this back for now. And then I could actually move this around too. So if I want my logo, I'll put that in the middle. And let's see what happens when I drag primary right underneath it. So Astra's done a pretty good job. I mean, it's for some basic editing of the header and manipulating and modifying the layout, it's pretty cool. So that's our header. And we could do the same thing with the footer. So I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. That's okay. I didn't change anything. I put it back the way it was. And I'm going to go to appearance. It kicked me all the way out. But I'm going to go back to customize. I don't know why it kicked me out. Sorry about that. I'm going to go now to, we were just in the header builder. They have footer builder as well. So I can get to footer builder. So there's my copyright. And if I want to add something else, I can. Some additional text, I could do that. I can move this around as well. So I could put it up here. And so as you can see, there it is right there. So this is where I can modify that. So it does have some basic functionality. So let's go back now to the layout of Elementor and start playing around with that and learning how to move widgets and insert widgets and start creating something. All right, so let's go back to our pages and we're going to go ahead and edit with Elementor. I just thought it'd be important to show you that header and footer, that capability is there built in the Astra theme. I should have probably showed you too, and I am going to, sorry about that, where the plugin Elementor header and footer lives. They live in different places. So let's exit again to dashboard. And this is important. So if you start doing your own customization, and then we'll do another lesson on this to really get into it. But I'm going to go to appearance again. And remember, we were in customize. And now if I go to header and footer, it's going to bring up this whole new environment wizard, and it's going to help me start creating my header and footer. And that'll be the next lesson. But we're going to stick a pin in that one for now. So let's go back to edit with Elementor. So at least you know where that plugin lives, under appearance. Because if you're looking for it on the dashboard, you'd never find it. All right, so now what we're going to do is we have here, if I want to add a new section, so that's where it starts with, is the section. And then within a section, I could do a row or an intersection or columns, and then I could start building my framework. Okay. Here is if I want to add a template. So if we want to click on this, here's pages that I can add, and it'll just automatically import this, and I can have a page. So which is cool. So I showed you 2 ways now. One was a template through the starter templates, and one was through Elementor library through that little folder that I can get to pages. Now if I just want a certain section, like let's say a 404 page, or if I want an about page, just the little about section. So these are little blocks, they call them. So they're sections within the web page. So you have a page, and let's say I just want to real quickly do an about company, and this one has a video template set up for me. I could just click on this and it'll suck it right in. All these different blocks here that we have available, a little gallery, alternate gallery, archives for your blog, so you can leverage that. So these are little blocks that already have the template, so you don't have to build all this. And these are the pro versions, so these are paid. Okay, And then when we incorporate or we download templates, we don't have any templates saved yet. But sometimes you'll be able to download templates and they'll go in here and they'll be available for you. So if you can't find what you're looking for, there's ways to get templates as well, and then that's where you would find them. Okay, so let's go ahead and get out of here. And in fact, the category here, you can go and you can see call to action. So if I want a call to action, there's call to action. Sorry, I didn't show you this. This is super important because this can save you a lot of time as you're building websites, and this will give you some inspiration as well. And let's say a contact page. So this one has a map built in that we could, map to integrate with Google. Here's a contact us. Here's a get in touch. That's kind of cool, little form. So there's all these forms that you could incorporate as well, and you can mark them, your favorites, etc. And then they even have built-in headers. So that's pro though. And then if you just want a single page, or let's do a subscribe. So here's a subscribe, and then here's single product, etc. Okay, so let's get out of here. All right, so let's go here. This is where we're going to start. So we're going to add a section. So let's say we want to add 3 columns. So we're going to build a structure of 3 columns. So we're going to click on that. So it's going to create 3 columns. Here we go. So first of all, let's go ahead and populate these real quick. And what you're looking at is the entire section. This blue outline is the section. If I want to highlight the whole thing, if let's say I want to put a background behind there, what I can do is I can go ahead and click on Edit Section. And when you hover over these kind of give you little annotations, and they'll let you know what they're going to do. If I want to add a section, I can add another section. So let's just do that real quick. So I can add another section, and then here's what I can do. I can now pick, let's say, a single structure, and now I have one single structure. If I want to get rid of that, I could just delete. Okay, so that's how easy it is to add. And in fact, if I add that, let me add one again, and then if I take this handle, this is also a handle, I can drag it and drag the section right above it. So now I have 3 and I have 1. So you can really start doing little different layouts. In fact, since we're working on layouts, if you have something in mind already, let's say you drew it out, or you have some kind of program that you kind of built like a wireframe of your layout, you can do little sections inside here as well. So to give you some context though, let's drag and drop some widgets in here. So I'm going to drag a widget in this particular column. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the plus, and it brings up my widgets. Just so you know, if you ever get out of this screen, like say for instance you click on this plus or whatever, let's do that again. Okay, see how that went away? The menu, changed. I don't see my widgets. If you ever want to get back to your widgets, it's this little square, the 9 dots here. So if I click on that, I get right back to all my widgets. Okay, so let's go ahead and delete this, and let's go ahead and enter, let's say, a text heading. Actually, I'm going to do text editor, because you're kind of limited with text heading. They'll have H1 block, H2, H3, H4, but you have way more customization, believe it or not, if you use the text editor. So watch this. If I go text editor, I'm going to drag that in here, right? And if later I wanted to add a title above it, a title header, what I could do is, remember, go back to the 9 dots because I want to see my widgets, I want to get access to them. And now I could take this header widget and watch this. I can drag, obviously I don't want it below, I want it above because it's a title heading, and I can create that title heading. So let's just play around with this real quick. So now what I'm going to do is, if I double click on this, it's going to highlight it for me, and it's going to bring up where I can modify or edit the text. There's another way I can do it, is this little pencil. It's edit heading. So each module, each of these widgets will have this. So when you hover over it, see the little pencil comes up. So I'm going to go here, I'm going to edit, and I get And I get that. It's saying also I could right click. So it gave me a little tip. I could edit heading that way, or I could duplicate it, or I could copy it. So let's say if we copy it, all right, and then now I go over to this column over here and I right click and I paste. And look at what happens. And I'm going to paste it here too. Okay, here. So now you get the idea. So for instance, if I want to go ahead and copy, and let's paste, and let's paste. And then if we're doing some kind of layout where we need to duplicate this, it's very easy. So I could take this, edit section, and right click and say duplicate. So I'm going to duplicate, and that just saved me a ton of work. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and delete that though. Okay, so let's take a little break and go through a quick review of the Elementor layouts and how sections, columns, and widgets are used. So as you can see in this review, step 1 would be we click on the plus sign. And then we're going to get step 2, which is select your structure. So here we can select how many columns do we want. Do we want 1, 2, and in this case the arrow, the green arrow is pointing to 3 columns. As you can see in step 3, that's what it created. It created column 1, column 2, and column 3. And then the little icon, the gray icon next to each one of those columns gives me the ability to edit a column. And then going forward here, if we click on the plus sign, it will bring up the elements or widgets. So the Elementor layouts are built using sections. As you can see, the blue rectangle, that's a section. And remember those 6 little dots in between the plus and the X? I can edit the section, the whole section. If I want to put a background or any properties or elements to that whole section, I can do so with alignment, with padding, with margining, etc. So sections are like rows or blocks that you can place on your page. Each section can have multiple columns, and each section and column can have its own styles. So the section can have its own style, or each one of those columns can have its own style. It can also have its own content, media, whatever you want, whatever widget you want to put in there that you have available to you. So virtually you can add anything in those columns and sections using the Elementor widgets. Remember those pro widgets? Those are locked to us because we don't have the pro version, but we have other widgets. And there's also other additional plugin widgets that you can get specifically for Elementor if you're looking for a certain type of behavior. So anyway, that was a quick little review, just so you have a better understanding on how the layout framework works in Elementor. So hopefully that's helpful and that provides additional insight. We have these, we've duplicated these, and if we want to delete them, all I need to do is right click on the pencil and delete. Right click and delete. Right click, delete, right click, delete. Okay, so we have our text here, and we're going to modify that, and we're just going to put business consultant. Okay, and then we could just leave it lorem ipsum, that's fine. And then if we want to put an image here, we can do that. And let's go find an image. So we're going to edit, and then we see here, choose image. Okay, and let's see if we have anything in the media library, which we don't. Let's go to Pixabay. You can get free graphics there, and also Pexels, P-E-X-E-L-S, P-E-X-E-L-S. So let's go ahead and just take this, I don't know, this sunset, and then go ahead and save and insert. It's going to download it for us. And if we didn't like this image, we can go ahead and upload an image, and we can select a file, and then we could look at different files here. So let's say I want San Francisco, and that's going to add it to our media library. From the dashboard, you can also add to your media library as well. So that's just so you know. All right, so here we go. We have that in there, and let's say we don't like the blue, so let's go ahead and edit that. So we click on the edit, get used to that, and we'll go to styles. Okay, and let's go ahead and change that to black, and we'll click off it. And then if we wanted a shadow, we could do that. We can blur it. We can do horizontal, the shadow, we can move that around. So it gives you that ability. If we want to change the margin and padding, so the padding between the columns or the margin, let's say we want to lower that a little bit. So I can unlink this because it's locked right now. And I'm going to go to top and see how I can move that down. And so let's say I want to move it all the way down to be like in the middle. Okay, and you can just get pretty creative with all this stuff, and that's fine. And let's say I want to make that a little bigger, so I'm going to go ahead and edit that. Go to content, okay, because this is associated with this element, this text, and then I'm going to go to this H2. I'm going to go to H1, and I'm going to increase this a little bit. See how I can increase these columns, and I could increase this column here. So if you want, you could just use this padding, an empty column as well. You could do that if you wanted. And I don't like this image, it's too long. So if let's see if I go to medium, let's go to medium large. No, don't like that. Let's see what happens if I go to custom. And I do, I don't know, let's say 800 by 500 or something like that. That's going to be fat. Okay, so I can actually modify it here as well. And there is an actual editor in WordPress that you can scale and you can crop and stuff like that. So remember to update. Down here's your update. Okay. And then since we're down here, just so you know, WordPress and Elementor, they give you the ability to build responsive websites. So for instance, if I go, this is on desktop view. If I click on that, I can see what it looks like in tablet view. So you see that, how it looks. And I can edit it specifically for the tablet for these dimensions. So for instance, now this is off. It's not to scale. And I'm going to go ahead and edit that. And I'm going to go to advanced, remember, and I'm going to uncheck that. And then I'm going to give it a margin here again here, boom. Okay, that looks good. Update that. And if we go to mobile, we can edit it for mobile because mobile is going to probably look different as well. So I'm going to go here to responsive mode and go to mobile. And then here our mobile is. And let's say we just want to center this. So I'm going to edit it, go to style, content, and then right here is alignment. So I can center it. I can write, justify, etc. So that's centered, and I'm going to do the same thing for the text. So I'm going to go to edit, and then I'm going to go, now in this case, because it's text, I'm going to go to style, and it's over here, center. So it's in a different place. To center this was in content. To center the text was, the body text was in style. And then we're going to also change that color. And just so you know, I mean, just to give you an idea, this is probably really bad, but this isn't my best, but I'm kind of matching it with the bridge there. So we just made that a little black, and I'm sorry, red. And then if we change the typography, it's on Roboto right now. Let's just change it just for grins. Let's put MONT, Montserrat, and then that looks pretty cool. And then here you have this is where I was saying you have a little more customization. You can't do that with the business consultant. It doesn't, the text heading, it doesn't have this capability. So there you go. And you could even change the weight of it. So you can have a heavier font. See, that's popping right there. Okay. And then you could even change the line height. See, so spaces between each line. And then letter spacing as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and update. So you could just get fancy and crazy. If I go to advanced and see, let's say I want to mess around with the top margin there, I can unlock it because I just want to play around with the top and I want to lower that a little bit. Okay, and let's see what the padding does if I go top. See, the padding is from this line to the text. The margin was pushing it from this element, pushing it this whole box away from it. Okay, and the padding is in between this and the text, this line. So that's a little far, and then we'll go say okay. All right, so that's how it would look when someone looks at our mobile phone. And here's the menu here, the hamburger, and here it comes up really nice. All right, so let's go back to our desktop, and let's move this up a little bit, actually. That's okay if we do. This is good. So when you make a mistake like that, all you have to do is go down here to history, okay, right where we were at, responsive mode. You go to history, and then just go ahead, text padding edited, and then boom, you're back to square one here. And then now I'm going to go ahead and edit this, and I'm going to go to advanced, and I'm going to fix this margin a little bit. So I'm going to decrease it, and then I'm going to make this a little bigger. Okay, so you can see it starting to come alive. So now what I want to do is, let's say I'm going to go ahead and create a divider here, just for some separation, just to show you, you know, the functionality that you do have. So I'm going to go ahead and create one block here, and I'm going to click on the plus, which is going to bring up my widgets. And if, remember, if I ever get lost right here, see how it changed? And I'm like, oh, where are my widgets? Remember, you can always just click up here. That's so key. Click these 9 dots, you're back to your editor. Or if you ever click plus, it usually takes you right back to your widgets as well. So let's go and create, let's say, let's do an intersection. So if I do an intersection, I grab that, it creates 2 within 1. So now let's get really crazy, and let's go here, and let's take another intersection. And these 2, I'm going to go below it. Okay, so it created 2 more. So let's go ahead and delete that. So you could do intersections. Let me go ahead and delete this too. Let me do 2 actually. And then this one is going to be, actually no, sorry about that. Let's go here and let's do 1, and let's put the divider. And you see here I have a divider. So I can bring that, let's put a divider. And then I can modify this as well. I can say edit. And then I could have it solid. I could have it double. I can have a pattern like arrows. You know, there's different things you can do. A wavy. But let's just do solid for now. And if I go to style, I can give it a little more weight. So that's going to make it thicker. Okay. And if I want to play around with the margin or move it a little bit, I can do that as well. So let's move it down a little bit. Okay, cool. So update. And let's say I wanted to put a background here for some reason, just so you know you have that capability for the whole section. I could do it individually here, or I can do it for the whole column. So let's go and edit column. Let's play around with that. And then I have vertical, horizontal, and then I have, let's play with the style a little bit. And let's do a background type. So it's background, and I can choose a color or I can choose an image. So if I wanted to choose an image, I can come here and let's go to upload a file. Actually, let's leverage Pixabay. So let's go to Pixabay and let's search for office. See what happens. And then I'm just going to go ahead and pick this office. Let's see, maybe this one, people meeting. And let me save and insert that. And then to position, I can do top center. So I can, let's do, let's see, bottom center, center right. Now, this probably isn't the best picture, but you get the idea. Okay, so we could just leave it at that. And what's cool is you could do a little back overlay. And if we go to here, classic, and let's go pick our color. And we're sticking with this red theme, whatever. But you know what? We could do it like a blue. Okay. So if we did something like that, so you could get really, really creative. I'm not the graphic artist by naturally, but I have to work at it and really play around to get it just like I want it. But now I need to change this. So I'm going to change that to white so it pops. So I'm going to edit that, go to style, and there's my red. And I'm going to go ahead and make this white. Okay, and let's update because we haven't updated in a while. And I'm going to change this to white as well. And I don't know why it does that every time I do that. What's going on here? But that's okay. I'm going to go to my history, good practice, and go back. Stop doing that. And then I'm going to edit, and I'm going to go to style, and I'm going to make this white. Boom. And update. Okay, so let's go ahead and drag our images in here. And we'll just kind of make like a little project page. So let's go image here. And here's what you're going to find when if you don't have the same size images and you haven't done your homework up front, you kind of have to do it on the fly. You'll see what I mean. Because if I go here and I select this doesn't give me the ability to know what size it is. So when I click on that, so this is kind of really for convenience. Now, once it's in the media library, though, I could find it. So let's go here, choose image real quick, and let's do media library. And it's not in there, and it says it is. Okay, so here's what I would do is I'm going to actually, and there's programs like LunaPic, and there's different, and obviously Paint and stuff that will tell you what the size it is. Or you could just see, if you get to the file, you could see the properties. But here's a trick that I like, so I could have all uniform images, is I like using pixels. So watch, I'm going to go to pixels here. And I'm just going to search for, let's say, New York. Okay. And let's take this image. Okay, so watch this. When I click it here, don't click it to the download arrow because it'll just automatically download. But if you click it here, watch this. This is brilliant. You can go here to free download, the little arrow, and you can say customize. So let's say 1280 by 1920. So okay, I'm going to go ahead and do free download. And there it is. And I'm going to do another one since we're here. I'm going to do 2 more. So I'm going to go here and do, let's keep it the San Francisco, or actually Venice. Okay, and then we'll take, see how this one's long? That's okay though. Let's take this guy, let's click on him and watch this. It saves my custom size, and I'm going to go ahead and download. So that's the 3rd one. Okay, so let's go find one more. And let's do Philadelphia. Okay. And let's just take this guy. And let's go here and custom size. Boom. Okay. So now they're in our download folder, and so we're going to go back to Elementor, and then we're going to start bringing in these. So that can really help save a lot of money or a lot of time and frustration. So we're going to go to upload, select, and we're going to see our pictures here. So I'm going to do New York, open, and let's go ahead and insert. And then watch this. This is going to be brilliant. So I'm going to go ahead and click on here, drag image, and then I'm going to go ahead and choose my image, upload file, and it was this was Venice. And watch this. Insert media, bang. Okay, so let's go here, drag image, and we're going to do the last one here, Philadelphia. And then we'll go here. And keep in mind, because we're kind of rushing, going kind of fast, in the title here, always give these titles and meaning to your website. And you could just say business office. So like, let's say these were offices or something. And because these are searchable by Google, okay, these graphics, especially when they have titles, okay, so that'll help you with SEO. Now let's do a little overlay. And actually, first before that, let's create. Let me show you how to do this. Let's create a label for these, okay. Okay, so we have our 3 images, and now we're going to create text to label as offices. So what we could do is actually, I'm going to try, there's different ways you could slice and dice this, but I'm going to right click and I'm going to duplicate. All right, and then I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of these pictures. So I'm going to delete, and then now I have these 3. So I'm going to go ahead and enter text editor here, text here, and text here. Oops, that was the wrong one. And then text here, and then I'm going to go ahead and edit this, and I'm going to say San Francisco, and I am going to center it. And I'm going to leave this red for now so I can see it, but I'll go ahead and change this later. And then the typography, I'm going to make, let's say, let's keep with that theme. All right. And in fact, I think I'm going to make it capitals. So let's do caps. San Francisco. Okay. And then style. And then let's go ahead and change the weight. So I'm going to typography. I can change the size, so let's make that really bold and maybe like 700. And then the line height, let's say, oh, we're gonna move this up anyways, so that's fine, but I could spread this out a little bit too. The letter spacing, and in fact, I think I want it even a little bigger, 33. And let's see what else, 33, and the weight, I'm gonna go 800 actually. Okay, so now that's really bold and rich. And then now what I'm going to do is watch what happens here. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste this real quick. So I'm going to go copy, and then I'm going to paste, and then I'm going to paste, and then I can go ahead, right click and delete this. Right click and delete this. This saves some time. And now I can just go ahead and edit this, and I could put Philadelphia. Oops. All caps. Philadelphia. And then let's go and change. We don't need to change anything because we already have it. So let's go and edit this one. And we need to change this to Venice. Oops. Venice. And we could even do office. We'll leave the office out, just to save time. All right. So we'll go like that, and then we'll update. And, you know, you could leave it right here if you wanted, but, and this was actually New York. This wasn't even San Francisco. What are they doing here? I'm going to change this. Probably going, what is he doing? He doesn't even know the cities here. All right, so let's update that. And now let's see if we can move this up, and let's play with the margin. And see, I'm just going to keep going. And then I'll just enter it. Once I find out where it is, I'll know my top margin, and I can enter it for the other ones. and that's it, New York. And in fact, I'm going to make it even a little bolder. So let's go to typography, and I can go, whoa, New York, right? Okay, cool. And then we're going to update that, and let's do the same for this. But let's see what this was. So this was the margin. It was 350. Okay, so let's go here, edit, and we're going to go to advanced, unlock, and go 350. Hey, he went the other way because it's minus. It should be minus. Minus. And then we have to change the style on this. And that's where I should have kept the, or I could have copied. I could copy and paste too, because if not, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to remember. And, you know, in fact, we could just go so it fits. We're going to go, oops, Philly, update. And then now we're good. So now let's go to typography and let's scale this bad boy. Okay, so let's go there. And then let's make this one white. Boom. So Philly, and it gives us some contrast. And then finally, we have Venice. So that was, I think, 350. So let's go ahead and edit, advanced, minus 350. Oops, I didn't unlock it. That's why. So we don't want that. So let's go here, minus 350, and then these need to be zeros. 0. I see where I made my mistake. Obviously, I see it. 0, 0, 0. And then let's do this. This is 350, and then we're going to put a minus in front of it. Okay, so there's Venice there, and let's play with the style, the typography, and that's, I think we're at 55, yep, or so. And then you could get it exact. You could just look at that one, a reference that you want, and then you can just go from there. And let's change this to, I don't know, let's play around with it. Maybe more of a green since it's Venice. You make that pop. And if we wanted to make it darker, we could. And you can also play with this. And then we're going to do an overlay. So when we hover over it, it's actually going to give a different effect. Okay, so let's see if we could apply like a hover overlay background. And this kind of gets a little tricky. So if I go to style here, and then normal is okay, that's fine, normal. But when I want to hover, let's say I want, let's see, can't really tell the difference here. Let's go. Okay, and then the second thing we're going to need to do is go to advanced and go to background, and then let's do normal, and let's pick this color, and then hover. So here we go. Let's see. That really doesn't affect it, just the color for the hover. So let's go back to style and change the, change the transition time over hover. So transition time, let's go 2.3. See, then it fades in. So there we go. It fades in. If we want a little faster, it's a faster fade. So there's a couple things going on here. So we have style, normal, and opacity is nothing. Okay, and probably would write these down. And then hover, we have the opacity like at 50, 58. Okay, and then advanced, under background, normal, we pick our color that's transitioning to, and then hover, it was nothing. It didn't matter on that one. So let's try to do another one here. So let's go, we'll do update in case we have to reference the settings. And let's go to Philly. And let's go style. And then the opacity. Let's go, I think we did like 58 or something, but that's fine. And then hover. Transition. It's like 2.3. This I don't think mattered. Let's go to advanced. And then go to background. And under normal, let's pick, I don't know. Okay, that really goes dark. Okay. Because it's black, that's why. There we go. So let's make it a little lighter. Okay. And then we could change probably the opacity on that. And that's back under style. And there it goes. Boom. So we have New York. We have this one here. Let's see if we could change. Okay, so the hover opacity. Okay, so that lightens it up. So you kind of have to play with these controls. So when we hover, that makes sense. See, it's hover and then boom. Okay, so you kind of get the idea of how we manipulated this. And then let's say we wanted to, let's see next, throw a form in here. So what we do is, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this guy. Oh, why did I do that? That was my text. So history. Okay, and let's go ahead and put a widget in there, and we're going to try to do here a form. And let's go ahead and click on our widget here, our plus sign to bring up our widgets. And let's see. I think form was up above. So let's go ahead and drag a form in there. And we haven't created a form yet, so it's picking up WP forms. So if we click on create, and let's enter our form. So let's just say a subscriber form. Okay. And let's just pick a simple contact form or a newsletter sign up form. How about that? We just want to capture their email. Okay, so we have name, last name, and email. So if we do let's say single line, we could do single line text if we wanted. If we wanted to capture information, we could. Okay. So there's our subscribers form, and let's say sign up, and then we'll say send message. Okay, and then notifications, we want it to go to, I'm just going to put my email, send to email address. This is where I'll get the notifications. I can also plug in a marketing platform as well, like MailChimp or Sendinblue. So MailChimp it would go to them if I had an account with them. So that's good. Confirmations, thank you for contacting us. We could just say you will receive a confirmation email shortly. Remember to check spam folder. Okay. And we'll go ahead and save. All right. And it's going to go ahead and create our form. So that's it. And if we want to put a background, remember we can go to section. And let's go to let's say style, and let's do background. And we'll pick a color, and let's just pick like a gray. Or we could even put an image back there as well. You know, you could do that too. So let's say we do an image, and let's just do this bridge here. Okay, and position. There it is. But now we need to change the names. But here's a little trick you could do too. Is if we go ahead and edit our form, sign up. Yep. And let's go to our form. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to go here, we're going to exit dashboard. Let's go to our dashboard and WP forms and all forms. And you're going to see where the forms are we just made. So we're going to go ahead and edit that. And we're going to go ahead and edit. And advanced options, we could say hide label. And we can make this small or medium. And let's hide sublabels. Okay, and let's go ahead and edit this guy. Advanced options. And this is what I was looking for, email. So we'll put that in there. We'll hide the label. And then we're going to go ahead and delete that one. And then we need to modify this one real quick. And so placeholder would be first name. And this would be last name. And it's hide label, hide sublabels. Okay. And then we're going to add a field as well. And let's add, how about paragraph text? And we're going to go advanced options, and we're going to say message me. And we're going to hide label there. And we need to get rid of this as well, the name. Where is it? Hide label. There it is. And then go ahead and save. Okay, we're going to exit out of here. We're going to go back to our site. This will take us to our home page. And then there it is. First name, last name, email, message, send me. Now let's put contact us here. So we're going to go up here to edit with Elementor. And then let's go ahead and enter, actually we'll just enter section and we're going to drag it. We could do that. So we'll go ahead and hit here and we'll select the one block structure and then click on the plus. And then I'm just going to do a text editor so I can really make it big, even bigger than the H1. And then I'm going to put contact us. And then we're going to go ahead and center it. Boom. And let's make this. Let's make this like a blue, just so it stands out here, like a purple or something. And then let's go and typography. We'll continue with the whole same font theme. And the weight, we'll make it 800. And the size, we'll say contact us so they can't miss it. We'll update. And all we got to do is just drag this up here. And then if we want some space here, what we need to do is we can edit this section here and then go to advanced and remember unlock and give it some space here, but we want this to go up too. So we could do it. We could either manipulate it here, or we could just go edit this section and go to advanced and play with the top margin here and pull that up. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Boom. And then there we go. And then we have our footer here, and if you wanted you could have a footer 1, footer 2, footer 3 type of menu. So you can have different things here in different sections as well. So anyways, that's just a high-level overview of how you can play around with Elementor and adding widgets and sections and rows. And let's say I wanted to throw an intersection in here. Let's go select this container and then click on my buttons here, and let's throw an intersection down below here. Okay, and then you can have like little labels here. You know, we can enter additional things. So if I wanted text, this is where that section, those intersections really come into play. And I can go, let's say, I can add a video, like a video or a button. Let's do a button. And then we'll edit that. And we'll say, learn more, or contact us, or whatever it is. And then you can have even some text here if you wanted. And let's go ahead and change the button to style. So let's change that. Okay, learn more. Okay, and then here we could have text. And here we can, let's go ahead and edit that real quick. And let's go to typography. We'll leave that, that's no problem. We also can add a link here. So if we have a learn more page, you know, we just put that in here. And then that would be it. And if we wanted to add like a little icon, we could do that as well. So we go to the icon library, and let's say we wanted to add, let's see here. Could be like a little arrow or something if we're to see this information. So let's go ahead and insert that. And then we're going to do after, like, you know, to learn more. And then you could do some icon spacing, fill that in. And then small. Oh, let's keep it small. And let's go ahead and update. So that's how you could use intersections, which are very powerful. And like I said, remember, you can real quick review. You can edit the entire section. So if we wanted to put a background there, we could. If we wanted to make this full width, we could. Watch this. We can make that full width. And then if we wanted to get rid of the gap to make it smooth, we could just do no gap. Now, obviously, we'd have to play around with our text now because we just changed it. But you are able to do that. So, which is pretty cool. Let's see what else. Real quick, let's show you the background. So if I go back to boxed, and then I do style, and then I do background, and then let's choose a color here real quick. See, I could change that and say update. And then I can play around with the padding here. So if I go to advanced, the margins, and let's bring this down a little bit. It's going to move the whole section down. Okay. And yeah, that's right. That's the way it is. I forgot about this little text here that's taking this room. So once we put the other text in here, it wouldn't have that gap. So that's just a quick overview. We'll get more into it in the next lesson. And thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it. Okay, yeah, so we've just finished up that lesson, and I got inspired by doing those background overlays, and I'm working on my site, Al Digital Agency, and I implemented those, incorporated those background overlays, so I just wanted to share that with you real quick. And so if I go to homepage and edit with Elementor, we'll go ahead and take a look at what I was working on. And I got to spend a little more time on this. So I just created everything big. So I'm using a background overlay here on top of this image and made the fonts just really bold and to stand out. And then I have a section here, a little breaker. And then here's that inspiration that I was talking about, and with the overlays. So let me show you that. And then the contact us page, and then a little get started, book me now. And let's go to the actual website so you can see how it reacts. Okay, so there it is, and here's the overlays, how it bleeds in. Pretty cool. So, and then big and bold here, so I'm using sections and intersections, so I incorporated that to get this layout. And then finally the contact us page, and I added another background overlay as well. So you can really give it some nice accents and filters to really tone down the graphics, especially if they're really bright, and you can give it a nice after effect. So anyways, I just thought I'd share that with you real quick, and we'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.